Road to the coup. The 15th of July coup attempt was perhaps very surprising and unexpected for many, but in fact it was the result of something that had escalated step by step within recent years by the power games of the Gulenist movement. After the Ergenekon and Balio's cases, as well as the constitutional referendum, the movement's power had consolidated and peaked within all critical positions in the civil and state bureaucracy, which had eventually led to a clash of powers and interests between the elected AK Party and Gulen's movement, as their human resources within the system began acting independently in order to subvert government policies, make them useless, and even plot against members of the government. The first clash at home had to do with the control of the nation's intelligence services. President Erdogan appointed one of his close advisors as its head, which the Gulenists didn't like. Another conflict arose regarding Erdogan's Palestinian and Middle Eastern policy. Gulen seemed not to side with Turkey and Erdogan's openly critical position against Israel's illegal blockade of Gaza, but rather openly criticized the attempts to break the Gaza blockade despite Israel's illegal and violent raid against the humanitarian aid flotilla Mavi Marmaray, which ended up in the deaths of 10 Turkish citizens. And then there's the PKK question. The Turkish intelligence pursued backdoor talks with PKK leaders in Oslo in 2009, with the permission of the Prime Minister Erdogan. However, these private communication channels were seriously damaged after secret recordings of the talks were leaked to the media. As a result, the head of Turkish intelligence, a very close ally of Erdogan, was called for investigation by a Gulenist loyal prosecutor for his involvement in talks with the PKK. That moment, Erdogan realized that he was the real target, as the power behind the negotiation policy. The next big attack came after Erdogan announced the abandonment of private preparatory courses in educational systems. The Gulenist movement had used these prep courses as a means of recruitment and income for decades. A few months later, the Gulen group prepared another operation. Members in the police force and judiciary conspired to frame Turkish cabinet ministers as well as some of Erdogan's allies and family members with trumped-up charges ranging from corruption to terrorism. The timing coincided with upcoming elections. The group had hoped to knock down AK Party's power and smear them with such scandalous allegations. But that didn't happen. Erdogan and his party survived both the legal accusations and the elections. His supporters and the general public opinion didn't buy the ruse, and they saw the conspiracy for what it really was. Within a year, Erdogan won both local and a presidential election with a sliding victory. It was a big disappointment for the Gulenists, because it was clear that they could not get rid of Erdogan through their judicial mechanisms or anti-propaganda in elections. Worse than that, Erdogan openly declared a war against them, or the, quote, parallel state, as he called it. So, they had one last resort, which they hadn't tried. A last measure that could be lost if they acted late. Yes, it was crazy. It was frantic, very bloody and risky, but it was also possible. They were confident that their friends abroad would support them towards their united goal. So in a last-ditch effort to win back their losses, on July 15th, 2016, well, we all know what happened. Please make sure to click subscribe and follow more videos.